Hello again. I figured I would put together a second part of this video on what Jacera and I plan to do in 2025 for our travels. Like I said yesterday, we are points and miles people. It is one of my hobbies to spend as much time as I can doing, trying to earn miles and points and try to get the most value we can out of those for our lifestyle. If I was probably starting in this game all over again, when I was young, I would probably stick to, no annual fee cards or, lower annual fee cards. But kind of where we are in our life right now, like I say, we're kind of balancing value versus what we can get in terms of, a little bit of luxury travel. So for us, the main cards, like I said, that we use, that we get value out of still right now are the Amex Platinum, the American Airlines Executive World Elite MasterCard, the Capital One Venture X, the Hilton Aspire card. Those are really probably our main, expensive cards. We have some other either no annual fee or pretty low annual fee cards. We're grandfathered into the old IHG card they don't offer anymore, which we've had for 10 years, and that is great at $49 annual fee, and we get a night each year, which we definitely take advantage of that. We have some Chase cards, a couple business cards, but we do, we tend to hover between Jacera and I somewhere around the 3 million miles and points. Cumulative usually, and we kind of give or take. This year we're spending quite a bit, but we've also earned quite a bit, so we're still somewhere probably in that between hotel and transferable points and all of that. We're probably in the 3.5 million that we still have in our pool. And so we will be spending those, though. They say don't just sit on them because their value does go down. So we are using quite a bit, like I said, this year. So we are heading off to Sicily pretty soon, like I said in the last video, Cuba and Barbados. And the summer trip we have, it's about a 20-day trip. We tend to bounce around Europe a little bit. And how we plan the trips, some people always ask, how we do this. Well, again, for us, it's a little bit different strategy than maybe it might have been maybe in my 20s. And we try to find when we go to Europe, we don't really care just getting to Europe. So we try to find a good business class ticket that we can get somewhere to Europe that works, and we don't mind getting a positioning flight to DC or JFK or Chicago or somewhere. We make that kind of part of our vacation. So this year, in fact, we are flying. We're using American Airlines miles to fly up to Boston in July, and then just staying a night there. American Airlines hotel in the city, so we're earning quite a few points on that stay. And then we're actually flying for our first time. We're going to fly the JetBlue or the JetBlue Mint Suites Studio. I guess it's Studio, whichever one's the big front row. We booked that through Qatar Airlines for 68,000 points, each. And we booked the JetBlue flight, and so it's actually pretty cool. I believe it's the A321 that we're flying, and it's just not the wide body plane, but Jacera and I have the two seats in the front, which are big, huge seats that we can actually hang out and eat dinner together. We're pretty excited to see that experience. We will have these two big, huge spaces in the front, and so we'll do a review on that. But you get almost like you get a selection of food where you can pick, 3 different small plates, almost like tapas. So we're excited to see that experience. Obviously, JetBlue has no lounge, which kind of stinks, but we will use our one visit that we get each year to the Sapphire Lounge. We don't have the Sapphire Reserve card. That may be coming in the future, but with our Priority Pass, we're able to access the lounge once a year. So I have been to the Boston Sapphire Lounge, and it's pretty impressive. So we'll probably go there on our way out. We fly Boston to Amsterdam. We'll stay in Amsterdam for 2 nights. In Amsterdam, we'll use our Hilton points and be able to take advantage of our status. We have stayed. Last year we stayed at the DoubleTree right by the train station in Amsterdam. That did have an executive lounge. I'm sort of reading it might not this year. The lounge wasn't great, but it did give us, a dinner and a few drinks and then a free breakfast in the morning and stuff. So we'll see. We stay there one night, and then we'll be staying at the Amsterdam Hilton by the airport. And that one does have a really nice executive lounge with great food and drinks and stuff. So we'll take advantage of that and breakfast and all of that. We may take a day trip out of Amsterdam since we've been there a few times. So we're looking at maybe going to Delft or somewhere else. I've been on quite a few day trips. I love Amsterdam because you can hop on a train and just be really anywhere. So 2 nights, sort of a day and a half or so in Amsterdam. We're looking forward to that with sort of no pressure on sites we have to see because we've been able to see most of the major sites. And then from Amsterdam, we will fly to Naples. There's obviously a stop we've done quite a bit. So we'll fly to Naples, and in Naples, we take the train over to the port, and then the ferry over to Ischia. And obviously Ischia, is a special place for us, where our family lives. And so we will stay with family for 4 nights over on Ischia. Then from there, we ferry back to Naples, train down to Tropea, and we're really excited. We have not been to Tropea before, and so we're going to stay there for 3 nights and just really relax. Again, American Airlines hotels. Then we train mostly the way back to Naples. But we didn't really want to stay in Naples. We've done that before. It's just not my cup of tea. So we are going to stay in Salerno. It's a pretty easy train ride right there, if not too far from Naples. And we're going to stay in Salerno. We're actually there going to use. We're getting a hotel with just through Sarah's Chase Sapphire Preferred. As many of you may know, you get $50 back. Each year if you use that. We don't get great value in it, but it's working out that it's going to knock the price of that down quite a bit. And we really just wanted a hotel that's near the train station in Salerno. We can walk, get some dinner. We can be near the water. And so we'll be able to take advantage of that $50 credit with her card. The next day, quick little train ride to Naples. We take the alley bus back out to the airport. We fly direct from Naples to Corfu. We're just going to probably stay right in Corfu's old town and stay near the port and just enjoy that for a night. And then we will take the pretty quick ferry ride over to Saranda, Albania, and stay there a couple nights. Again, mostly all American Airlines hotels. And I've been there to Saranda. It's nice. I want to bring Jacera to relax for a few days so that we can, sit on the beach and go to, walk up and down the promenade and just go to restaurants. And we're staying in a pretty nice hotel there. And after a couple days there, we will fly to we'll ferry right back to Corfu and stay in Corfu a couple days. Excuse me, my allergy is bugging me a little bit this time of year. We'll stay in Corfu a couple days, and so for Jacera, she will be getting to see Albania for the first time, and Corfu, Greece for the first time. So we're excited about that. And then we fly to Paris, and we'll be staying in Paris a couple nights. One night in Paris, we're actually going to use Jacera's annual free night that she gets with her IHG credit card, that $49 credit card. So we get to use we're going to stay at a free night in Montmartre. We have not stayed in that section of Paris before. We've been to Paris, several times, but we're going to, just stay there for a night and get a late checkout the next day, leave our bags, whatever. And so we'll have a full day the next day. And then we'll stay at the Hilton Charles de Gaulle, which I mentioned in my last video. That airport lounge at that Hilton was absolutely amazing. And then they shrunk it all down and put it down on the first floor, and it's really not all that great, but you get some free food and drinks and all of that. And so for that one, we're actually going to pay for that one, but we'll get status and the executive lounge access and all that. And then we fly out. We fly premium economy on American Airlines from Charles de Gaulle to Philly, and then Philly to RDU. It's nice because all on the way, again, there'll be lounges in Charles de Gaulle. We get to go to one called the X-Time Lounge with our Emerald status with One World. And then in Philadelphia, we'll have the Centurion Lounge and the American Airlines Lounge. So getting to take advantage of a lot of lounges and benefits we get from our cards is pretty cool. We're excited for this trip. We get to see family. Our cousin Emma is going to have a kid, her first baby, in a few weeks, and so we'll get to meet him or her. We get to see Ischia, which we just love. We try to do that every year, just about every year. Get to see some new places along the coast of Italy, and we're making it mostly a sort of beach destination or beach trip almost, where it's like warm weather and Mediterranean. So we get to spend a little over a week in Italy along the coast, and then a total of 3 nights in Corfu, right on the water, and then a couple nights in Saranda, Albania on the water. So excited about that. Then in November, we'll be making, I won't get into really detail on this, we'll be heading to Playa del Carmen, which we try to do every year. We absolutely love the Hilton All-Inclusive in Playa del Carmen. So we will fly, we're doing kind of a similar thing that we're doing with Barbados in our Cuba trip, where we actually found a good deal where it was 20,000 Alaska airline miles total for the 2 of us to fly from RDU to Cancun. And so we transferred miles from, this is a little trick a lot of people know about right now, and it may not last that much longer, but from Amex to Hawaiian, and then Hawaiian directly to Alaska, and then through Alaska we can book American Airlines tickets. And then I just got in the chat with the American Airlines agents and switched it over so that my status applied for our Alaska Air miles through American Airlines, so that we'll be hopefully be upgraded and stuff with our status and all of that. And so that's how, and what we're doing again, like I said, is after work around 6:30 on that Friday night, we fly to Miami. We'll stay right near the hotel, right near the airport in Miami. We land, we always go to the executive lounge and we get food and drinks, and then we're full, and then we, go to the hotel and we sleep, and the next morning we get up and kind of repeat. And then we will land in Cancun, and we've already booked a ride to bring us to the Hilton Playa del Carmen for 3 nights, and then back out of Cancun through Miami through Charlotte and back to RDU. So that will be counting the night in Miami at the airport, that'll be a 4-night trip. And then the big one I'm excited about, it's not the longest trip, but our trip for our Christmas trip to the Christmas markets. Never done that, and there's so many, and there's so many options. For us, when I was researching the Christmas markets, the issue really was, there's these big ones all over Germany that people talk about, and you watch all these videos, but they generally shut down the German ones a day or 2 before Christmas, and that's it. Some of the others are open Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, and then some are even open, many are open after Christmas. And with our schedule as teachers, there's only a limited amount of time that we can go. We can't go in, early December or even mid-December. So we are flying to JFK after work one day. We're using some of our points with IHG to stay in Manhattan. We figure, we've done it before at Christmas, but we figure we'll be able to, if not that evening, probably that evening, but if not the next day, we get the whole next day really in Manhattan if we want to use it. And so we're planning to go to a couple Christmas markets in Manhattan and just kind of see what the weather's like. But, we'll go see Rockefeller Center and the walk up and down, you see Times Square and all that kind of stuff. And then we have a 10:20 p.m. flight. This is sort of our dream one. I say dream one, we have a lot of other dream ones too, but the one we've heard so much about that we're really, really excited about. We get to fly the Emirates A380 business class, with the lie flat bed from JFK to Milan. We actually, a good deal popped up, a pretty good deal, and I moved points over really quick and called the agents, and we booked that through Emirates, and that was awesome. And so we're so excited because it's not the longest flight ever, JFK to Milan, but we get to fly the Emirates overnight. Probably won't sleep much. Those who don't know, they do have a real lounge, a real bar for the business and first class. we had an experience last Christmas where we flew Qantas, and they have like, sort of a lounge area, but not with an active bartender who's there the whole time. And so we're excited for that, just to kind of experience that. We've watched all the videos of people doing it. So again, we're going to take advantage of every minute we can there. And so we'll fly that to Milan. We'll hop right from Milan on a train to Lugano, Switzerland, right on the border with Italy, and we'll stay there a night with American Airlines hotels. We're doing then an hour train ride or so to Lucerne, which we'll just leave our bags probably in a baggage storage that day. We'll spend a couple hours just seeing Lucerne, but then our goal really is the next couple places. So we will continue with another hour or so ride to Basel, Switzerland, which is supposed to have an amazing Christmas market. We'll stay there one night. And then it's an hour or so to Colmar, which is an absolutely beautiful town from everything I've seen. I'm so excited about Colmar. That's an hour train ride, and then it's about 30 minutes or so. We're gonna train the next day to Strasbourg and stay there on Christmas Eve and Christmas. And again, so excited about that. That's supposed to be the Christmas capital of Europe, I guess, Christmas market capital. So we'll be there on Christmas. We'll take a train direct to Frankfurt, stay a night in Frankfurt, see the Christmas markets there. Or actually, I think the Christmas markets there will be closed, but we're going to, in Frankfurt, stay at a really nice hotel through Amex's Fine Hotels and Resorts. That way we can take advantage of that $200 that they give, where you get refunded $200. You also will get free breakfast, upgrades, or early and late checkout, and $100 property credit. So when we use that each year, we try to find a hotel that's somewhat reasonable. But we definitely, in this case, we found one. I think it was $330. You get $200 back immediately, and then you get a great stay in a great hotel, and you get to take advantage of all those things. Last year we used it in Minneapolis, and it was absolutely awesome. The food was amazing, and our hotel was great, and we got a great upgrade, and it was definitely worth it with the rate we found. So we'll stay in Frankfurt. From Frankfurt, we will fly out, on our way to Copenhagen for a couple nights. In Frankfurt, we'll be able to access the Lufthansa business class lounges because of our Amex card, and we're flying Lufthansa. And so we'll go to Copenhagen a couple nights. We're staying in Copenhagen with American Airlines hotels again, and so using those quite a bit. And actually, Copenhagen is for Jacera. She's never been to Denmark. I have been there. The Copenhagen Christmas markets, at least a couple of them, will be open. And so we plan to go to see the Christmas markets there. And then from Copenhagen, we basically were at that point just looking to get back to the U.S. And so I tried to find anywhere we could coming back to the U.S. We've been doing all this planning of this trip without really knowing where and when we were coming back from. I always do that. If there's a good ticket, I like to get myself to Europe, or Jacera and I to Europe. I jump on it and then just worry about the rest later. And so I was sitting there and kind of waiting. I had moved quite a few miles over to Alaska through Hawaiian. And a deal popped up, and I was like, I just got to do this. Generally, our plan is lie flatbed business class to Europe. We usually, again, make 2 or 3 trips to Europe each year. But lie flatbed to Europe, and then on the way back, do premium economy. We don't really need to sleep on the way back, because when you get back to your house in the U.S., it's bedtime. So we usually do premium economy, which is generally about 40,000 American Airlines miles, but for 45,000 American Airlines miles each, we found a lie flat business on American through Alaska. So we will be on a lie flat bed. Not that we need it, but we'll probably be pretty tired. So flying from Madrid, actually, we're going to go to Madrid and stay there 24 hours. And when we haven't seen Madrid, we've been other places in Spain, but not Madrid. So the Christmas market will be open in Madrid. Even though it's past Christmas, we'll see that. We're going to stay near the airport at a Hilton again. And so the Hilton there is supposed to be pretty nice. We'll get executive lounge access and all that stuff again. And so from Madrid, we'll be flying on that lie flat bed to JFK. In JFK, we have a bit of a layover there, quite a few hours. And then we fly from there, first class actually, to, we're already on, they just put us in first class, I guess, already, to Raleigh-Durham. We have quite a few hours in JFK. The cool thing is, I know there's so much to follow here, But with Status, with Executive, Platinum, or whatever I am right now, I can bring one guest into, from what I've heard, pretty good lounges there. There's a couple lounges I don't know much about. I've not been to these. The Greenwich Lounge. I'm just looking at my notes right here. And there's something called the Chelsea Lounge I may or may not be able to get into. And a couple others that with Status and Flying American I can get into. They're supposed to be a lot better than the regular Admirals Club. And also hearing that there may be a Capital One lounge in JFK by next Christmas, so that would be cool too. So there should be all kinds of lounges to do some lounge hopping in our sort of long layover. That's in total a 12-day trip. So just the ones I was mentioning today, we have about 20 days on our European trip, 5 days total on our Mexico trip, and 12 days on our Christmas trip. I didn't really get into the Greece trip I take every year. That will be 14 days. I'll be in the Greek islands. That's just sort of an every year trip. So just to wrap it up, I mean, really right now, I'm sure there'll be one or two more short trips out of country, but right now we have quite a few. I think we said 66 days total out of country, in mostly hotels, and some with the family, and then some Airbnbs in Cuba. But it's a mix, mostly American Airlines hotels, because like I said, I've totally changed that strategy. So it's Hilton's when I can, to get the benefits overseas of the executive lounge and the breakfast and all that stuff. And again, upgrades. We've had great experience with them. It's IHG here and there when we just need a stay. It's occasionally we didn't have any this year, but Hyatt's. We transfer from Chase, which is a great value. That's pretty well known online and on YouTube. But for us, we're just trying, if it's just sort of these random hotels that aren't any kind of name brand one, then let's book through American Airlines, because we can earn a ton of miles and loyalty points. And so we'll see if we'll be at that executive platinum or whatever it is status next year too. So I know there's a whole lot there, but we're really excited for this portion of the year's travel. It's exciting, and so hopefully I'll be making some more interesting videos later. But if you followed me this far, I appreciate it. I don't know if this is interesting for anybody or not, but like I said, I have a few people interested in it who appreciate it, and then and I will always be able to look back at this when I'm really old and gray in the not too distant future. So thank you very much.